What's going on YouTube, Diggy546? I mean, the world of being a Giants fan, we start off before the season ready to take over the world because Russell Wilson was going to save us. And then we go back to week one, week two, week three saying, like, okay, we stink. The Giants stink. It's always going to be like this. It's never going to change. Dart steps in. We beat the Chargers and we're over the moon. And it is what it is. We're all excited about the future. And that has just been like, you know, that happens. And Malik Neighbors gets hurt. He's done for the season. So we're all like, I'm happy Dart came in and won, but at the same time, we're going to stink this year because Malik Neighbors is out and we're not going to have a watchable offense. So the offense then proceeds to score 30 points pretty much every week, besides that Saints game where we turn the ball over 5 straight times. But other than that, we proceed to just destroy teams pretty much offensively, at least. And then we give up 33 points in the fourth quarter. And then we come out of this game, and Cam Skattebo dislocates his ankle, and it's just everything just looks horrible. And this is what we are as Giants fans. Like, we never can have anything fun. We never can have anything fun for any sustainable amount of time. Victor Cruz, we had to make sure that he tore his knee up before we could even really have any fun for so long. Odell Beckham messed his ankle up. We can never have fun for any extended amount of time. It just never happens. And it's just unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate. Cam Skattebo is probably done for the season. He has a dislocated ankle, and most likely he's probably got a broken bone because his foot was completely contorted, discontorted, like messed up. So he's probably done for the year. So that takes away some fun here. But let's talk about today's game, as I'm just like kind of all over the place because who wouldn't be in a state of in this sort of situation, man. So let's just go down the list here. Jackson Dart, 14 for 24, 193, a touchdown, a rushing touchdown, 17 yards on the ground. Tyrone Tracy, 10 carries for 39 yards. Darius Slayton should be our leading receiver with like 100 something yards because the referees took that off the board. And I hate to ever come on here and talk about the referees because, you got to have accountability. And we probably lose this game either way, at least with the injuries we have. But for us to come out here and deal with what we dealt with for the refs, there were 3 or 4 huge, horrible calls. The first one being they're running the tush push, and he's reaching forward. In the act of reaching forward, Kayvon Thibodeau takes the ball from him, and they're like, oh, it's because of the tush push. You can't have anything go wrong for the Eagles, so it's not a fumble, just because we said so. And we're going to blow it dead and just say it was forward progress because we know you can't challenge that. That's the first one. There were a bunch of other stuff. There were a bunch of times where Abdul Carter was blowing plays up in the run game, and he just got grabbed in the back of his jersey, just grabbed and held, and never got a flag for that. There's times where you got Devontae Smith pushing off. There's no offensive pass interference. You got times where Darius Slayton catches a 70-something yard touchdown bomb, and for some reason, because he pushed off as he was being interfered with, and then after he pushes off, he gets interfered with again. At the very least, you call offsetting penalties. But instead, what we're doing is we're just going to say it's offensive pass interference, so we make sure that he comes off, with no points. We had a time where Kayvon Thibodeau, and this is a crucial call in the game when the game is still tight. Kayvon Thibodeau jumps because Jordan Mailata literally moves, and they call that an offsides. So instead of, them being on a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, they're in a 3rd and like 3 or something like that. So it just happened over and over and over again in this game to the point where I'm like, I mean, what else do I think besides like the spread had to be covered? The spread had to be covered. And the Giants, like with the Skattebo injury and with the Flott injury and with the Bellinger eventually went out, with all those injuries and then on top of these bad calls, the Giants eventually just got beat down by the refs, beat down by the Eagles. And at that point, it's a runaway game. And listen, it's a 38-20 game. They beat us by 18. We beat them by 17. Um, it is what it is here. Um, they came back and beat us. They had some injured guys out there. We had some injured guys out there that were gone both times for both teams. So we're even. Let's do the points total. So what? 38 plus 17 is what? 56? And 20 plus 34 is 54. So the Eagles beat us by 2 points this year. They beat us by 2 points this year. And unfortunately, a lot of it was because of the referees. I still think they probably win this game either way, but this probably isn't a blowout because they got about 7. It's probably like a 20-point swing almost just from bad calls. So on top of that, let's talk about this defense and let's talk about how they are pitiful. I don't care if you're missing a Debo. I don't care if you're missing Holland. I don't care if you're missing McFadden. I don't care who you're missing. The fact that this defense multiple times let Eagles running backs get hit with a yard of with a yard of football. They got a yard. And they're getting 5, 6, 7 people that need to tackle them. And they just keep breaking the tackle. Another tackle. They spent it's just what a disgusting effort. How about you wrap up and tackle the guy? How about you just wrap up and tackle a guy instead of just watching and just hugging the guy while he's standing up and being surprised that he breaks the tackle? On top of that, it's a 3rd and 31. And this defense with no heart, no pride, allows a 3rd and 31 to be converted on the ground nonetheless. And I knew it. As soon as I saw 2nd and 31, it was a 2nd and 31, not a 3rd and 31. As soon as I saw 2nd and 31, I said they're going to convert this on 2nd down. Guess what? They did. We've had 2nd and 24s, we've had 2nd and 21s, we've had 2nd and 19s. Now a 2nd and 31. I think we could have a 2nd and 60 something. And I guarantee you it would just be just a run or a pass that would just go for a touchdown. Because this Giants defense, they tense up, they tense up and they panic whenever they get on a 2nd and long. Until we get a defensive coordinator that's competent, until we can get a head coach that knows how to get his players ready to execute when it's important, situational execution on this team is horrible. It is god awful. It's horrible. Again, the 2nd and longs, the 3rd and longs, the 4th downs, there's always a mental error. There's always a penalty. There's always a mistake in the crucial situations of the game. When it's the end of the half, this coverage team coming into this game is one of the top 3 or 4 coverage teams on punts and kicks out of all the entire league. Today, at the end of the first half, we allowed them to bring the kick back to the 40-yard line. Tell me that this isn't a reflection of players uniformly not being able to execute in the most biggest moments of the game. I'm going to probably have to make another video where I, get more detailed or whatever. I say it all the time. Sometimes I don't get it out. Sometimes I do. But nonetheless, I want to close this out with a review of what I thought of Jackson Dart today. Dart was fine today. I wouldn't say I was amazed by how he played today, but I wouldn't say he played horribly. One thing about Jackson Dart is he's got to start getting rid of the football. This guy stands there and just stands there with the ball in his hand, and he just stands there forever. It's you got to throw the ball away. You have to throw the ball away. If you're standing there for 6 seconds and you're not moving and you're not running forward, sometimes you have to throw the ball away. And he got sacked plenty of times today just because he refused to throw the ball away and give up on the play. And luckily, they called a forced fumble on him. It should have stood. But, he got a break and he got to keep the ball. But other than that, he would have had a fumble today because of just how long he held on to the ball. Like a guy's hugging his leg and he's just holding on to the ball, just like calmly just sitting there. So it's like he's got to do better with that. Skattebo get well soon. We'll probably see him next year. Hopefully he can be the same player. I don't know how bad the injury is, but hopefully he can be the same player. On top of that, let's see. What am I missing? Theo Johnson catch the ball. Darius Slayton catch the ball. If he catches that first ball and he doesn't get screwed on that pass interference, this guy Darius Slayton has like 180 yards a day. It just goes to show you how big of a joke this team can show up as in the most crucial situations, and just like there's just always at the end of these games where you're like, oh, if they would have done this and done this and done this, they're not gonna do this and this and this, because that will mean that they will be playing winning football. So again, we go from giving up 33 points in the fourth quarter after outscoring the defending Super Bowl champions and the number one defense, after outscoring them 27-0 in 4 straight quarters. We go to giving up 33 points in a single quarter to the Broncos, to next week Cam Skattebo getting injured, and Cordell Flott getting literally, and then I didn't say anything about this, Cordell Flott literally got right hooked by Bobby Okereke in the head and got a concussion today. So you got Corey Black and Deonte Banks out there. And Deonte Banks actually didn't look like a disaster today. That's the saddest thing about it, is he actually wasn't a disaster today. But Corey Black definitely was. The guy we took in the 7th round who left and went to the Jets because he didn't want to play here because he was upset. Then he came back because the Jets got rid of him. It's like, what are we doing? And then Corey Black actually, the saddest thing about Corey Black is he got mossed towards the end of the game by Jahan Dotson. And he probably played the ball better than any cornerback on this roster has played it in like a jump ball situation. That's really sad. And he still got mossed. So I'm going to wrap it up here. You all let me know. I already know what you thought of the game. It is what it is. I hate losing to this team. And hopefully we have some more entertaining football to go. But Cam Skattebo leaving really, really stinks for a lot of reasons.